Hey, good morning, beautiful people. Good morning, James. Good morning, Mr. Maddie. How you doing this morning? How's everybody doing? So we went to my son's doctor's appointment yesterday, and we got all kind of blood work done and all this stuff. So I'm just waiting on that to come in. They did, and the labs they ordered yesterday obviously was to do, check the enzymes again, to check for the alpha A1 ATTZ phenotype, just because my sister had that. Check for the autoimmune liver profile, cereoplasm, ferritin, iron and TIBC, and NASH fibrosure, and the protein electrolysis serum or whatever. They're also going to be checking. We're going to be doing Thursday a fibro scan, which is pretty much like a cytogram, but more in depth, basically. Um, Basically, it's for a FibroScan is a non-invasive ultrasound technology used to assess liver health by measuring liver stiffness and fatty changes. It helps to detect liver fibrose, which is scarring and inflammation, provides valuable information about liver disease. This procedure is quick and painless, using high-frequency sound waves to create images of the liver. The assessment aids healthcare providers in monitoring liver conditions and determining appropriate treatment. So we're doing that Thursday, obviously. We're doing the gambit of workups to make sure everything's okay. Um, hey, baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark. How was storm chasing yesterday? Hey, shaker, shaker, shaker. Hey, Stiffy love. How you doing? How you been doing, shaker, shaker, shaker? Everything good over there? The family good? Everybody good? What happened, baby shark? What did you do? Did you go over there and you get too close to a storm again? You know I done told you about that. Baby shark, you know, you know that you supposed to not. Are you okay though? Is everybody okay? Nobody got injured too bad? All that other stuff. That could have been very dangerous. You know that you're not supposed to do all that. Also, can I ask you this question, baby shark? Did you send in any of your drone footage to WTVA? Because I saw drone footage or saying, and I was like, that'd have been real cool if that was Baby Shark and I knew the person who sent in the footage. I'm glad that you're okay. And I'm glad you're getting checked out. You got to be careful when you do these things. It's very, very dangerous. If you want a normal answer, I'm great. If you want the truth, so. I get that, Stiffy. I get that. Trust me. Um, because that's what I tell people. Is like, do you want the watered down version or the real version? Because if you want the watered down version, I might. If you want the real version, I'm freaking the fuck out right now. I'm having a moment. Um, I may or may not have to, while I'm on with y'all this morning, call the people that work on the my chart shit. I don't know if y'all got that where y'all at, but we have it down here because for some reason my son's test results ain't coming in as they should, and they should be doing that. And I think it's the way they set up his my chart or whatever. Because I want to know it right away. Like I'm like I want to look at this. I want to analyze this. I want to see how everything comes out. And I'm like, it's some of that blood work should have came back yesterday afternoon, but it's not showing up on his my chart. So I'm like, y'all better fix this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see it. I want to see the test results. Like, I don't like being in what do you call that, limbo. I hate limbo. It sucks. I'm just glad that you're alive, K fam. Let me tell you this. Let me tell you something about tornadoes. You don't play with them babies. Tornadoes are not something you play with. I'm glad that you're here to tell the tale, because that could have been a lot worse. Think about it like that. It could have been a lot worse. I'm glad that you and your friend are not in critical condition, and nothing terrible happened with that situation, because it could have been a lot worse. Um, and from now on, if you don't take care of yourself, I'm gonna get a switch a hold of you. Yeah, I'm gonna get a switch. I'm gonna follow your ass, and I'm gonna take one hand, and I'm gonna hold it up, and I'm gonna switch you, and I'm gonna say, you know better than this bullshit. Hmm. You can't see a tornado till it's too late, especially if it's rain wrapped. And you know this. You know this. And I'm so glad that you're okay, that it could have been a lot worse. So count your blessings and thank Jesus, because Jesus was with you. Jesus was with you. Hmm. Don't make me get a switch on you or a belt to hold of you next time. You better make sure you stay way ahead, and you make sure you stay to where. Here's the thing. Let me say this too. Always, when you're chasing these things, make sure you know what's close by. So if you did have to take shelter, don't be out in the middle of nowhere where you have nowhere to take shelter. Yeah, the rain wrapped ones you cannot see until it's too late. It'll be too late by the time it's on top of you. You can't see it. But make sure you have a good breakfast, babe, and have good time at the gym and whatnot. And you also don't overdo yourself at the gym. Understand me, because I know you too well. Mm-hmm. You know I'm going to be looking out. But on this Wellness Wednesday, does anybody have, wellness wise? I'm glad that Baby Shark's still here with us today, because playing around with tornadoes is I thank the storm chasers. I will say this: thank you to all storm chasers who actually confirm when tornadoes are on the ground for us, because sometimes our weathermen can't see when they're on the ground because they are, rain wrapped or something like that, and stuff like that. So I do thank them. But make sure you're safe. If you're going to be a storm chaser, make sure you're safe out there. Make sure you stay way above the storm. Make sure that, you do your due diligence so that you don't accidentally get caught in a situation that you can't get out of. Good morning, Gamecock Jenny. Good morning, Rico the Sleeves. What up, Rico? How you doing? But you got to make sure you're safe in them storms. Now, them storms don't play. They really don't. So, we're getting all the hey repeater pan, we're getting all of the blood work back. You Rick Rico, who done got you pregnant, girl? Hey girl, hi, how you doing, watcher? Yep, see, there is a lot that goes into storm chasing, and you can't underestimate those storms. People sometimes you know they underestimate and whatnot. Okay, I'm gonna start over with the update. Watcher. Okay, so basically, when we came back from the doctor, I came over there to your show, and I did watch your show, but I was obviously in and out. You know what I'm saying? I went over to a few shows and was saying hey to people, and just telling them I love them and all that stuff. I'm always like that. Um, but when we went to the doctor, they did labs. They did a lot of blood work. We're waiting on those to come back. So we obviously, I haven't got those back yet, and I may have to call the people for the my chart, because it's not updating the results yet. And so they ordered an alpha 1 tryptazine, autoimmune liver profile, cereoplasm, ferritin, iron, and TIBC, the NASH fibersure, and they ordered a protein electrophoresis serum. So that we're basically getting extra blood work, right? And then Thursday we go for a fibro scan, which is pretty much, it's like a sonogram, but it's more advanced and really focuses on the liver. to know that if there's any like scarring of the liver. Um, it basically, a FibroScan is a non-invasive ultrasound technology used to assess liver health. By measuring liver stiffness, fatty changes, it helps detect liver fibrosis, scarring, and inflammation, provides valuable information about the liver disease. The procedure is quick and painless, using high-frequency sound waves to create images of the liver. This assessment aids healthcare providers in monitoring liver conditions and determining appropriate treatment options. So it's basically like a stronger version for the liver of a of sonogram. It's a better version of a you know it's basically like a sonogram but better, pretty much. It does more imaging to make sure, because with my liver condition, and the fact that he has genetically, he has an aunt who has Crohn's disease on his sperm donor side. On my side, I have a sister who had the A1 tryptosine, which I do not, but she did, which we think that came from her mother or whatnot, because her mother actually passed away at a very young age. Let me ask this question. Do y'all know what A1 tryptosine is? Have you ever heard of A1 tryptosine? It's antitrypsin. It is a the reason I ask this because not a lot of people know what it is. Okay, so I'm gonna explain it to you. The alpha 1 antitrypsin is a protein that protects the lungs from damage caused by an enzyme called neutrophil elastase. AAT is produced in the liver and travels through the bloodstream to the lungs. Some people have a genetic disorder called A1 antitrypsin deficiency. Okay, and or a alpha 1. They call it the alpha 1 gene, if you've ever heard of that. That causes low levels of ATT or abnormal forms of ATT that can lead to lung and liver problems. Alpha 1 can be diagnosed by a blood test. Um, my sister's mother passed away at a very young age, and they told my sister's mother that she wouldn't live to be. She kept having, they kept misdiagnosing her and saying she had bronchitis and she had a lung disorder, but they didn't tell her what it was. And I believe that she had the A1 tryptosine. She actually passed away at a very young age in her early 20s. She was actually, they told her she should never get married, she should never have kids, she should never blah, 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 because, it could be life or death for her. And all she ever wanted in her life, and I've heard this story because my dad talks about it, my mom talks about it. They always honor her memory. That all she wanted was to be able to have a life, get married, have a child, and all that stuff. Well, she did. She got married, she had a child. She was actually pregnant with their second child. My dad didn't know. And he had just got her home at the hospital. He said, "Are you sure you want me to go to work today?" She said, "Yeah, you got to go to work because we got to have money," right? With her being in and out of the hospital all the time. And so my dad went to work. And when he came home, he found her passed away, right? And, that was hard on him. Their daughter, my sister, was only 6 months old at the time of her passing. She was, still a baby herself. And they didn't find out about, obviously, her being pregnant. She was just very, very just got pregnant again, might I add, until the autopsy, obviously. They found out she was a few weeks along. So your dad had chromostasis, which is a genetic disorder that causes the body to absorb and store too much iron, leading to iron overload and potential organ damage. It is often inherited and can affect the liver, heart, pancreas, and other organs. So you have to have your blood work done annually just to be on the safe side. Yeah. So with the alpha 1 tryptosine, it usually runs in families. So when my sister got diagnosed and I had my liver condition, they tested me for the A1 trypsin. I came back negative. I am not a carrier, nor do I have the A1 trypsin deficiency, which means that it did not come from my father. If it had come from my father, even if I didn't have it, I would have been a carrier. So I would have tested positive for it as a carrier, if that makes sense. My sister actually had to have both her children, tested for it because it does run on her side of the family. And we do, because I tested negative, we know who she got it from, which was her mother, which it really explains what happened to her mom. The liver enzymes actually leak into the lungs and cause a lot of lung issues. And her mother literally had really severe lung condition and passed away because of it. Now, my sister, when it hit her when she was in her 30s, she absolutely did have to have fluid drained off her lungs. And it did affect not only her liver, but her kidneys. Basically, alpha 1 trypsin deficiency is a genetic condition that causes lung and liver damage. Lung symptoms are usually similar to emphysema, including chronic cough, shortness of breath, and wheezing. Treatments can reduce the risk of lung damage. Not smoking is the best way to reduce your risk of serious complications. What is A1 trypsin deficiency? It is an inherited genetic disorder that causes low levels of proteins that protects your lungs. Alpha 1 increases your risk of developing certain diseases, including emphysema, damaging air sacs in your lungs, cirrhosis, liver scarring, and pancreatitis, which is a common pancreatitis, which is a uncommon skin condition. Some of these conditions can be life-threatening. Alpha 1 sometimes referred to as genetic COPD or genetic emphysema. What does alpha 1 affect? Alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency affects people who have two copies of the SERPINO1 gene that makes an abnormal type of the alpha 1 protein. Genes are the instructions for how your body should function. This gene changes and can cause your body to have low levels of AAT or no AAT in your lungs, and depending on the changes, a buildup of ATT in your liver, and any of these changes can cause health issues. People with one abnormal copy of the gene and one normal copy, called A1 alpha 1 carriers, can also have symptoms and are at risk of lung damage, especially if they smoke. Alpha 1 is the most common genetic disorder among those with European ancestry, but is uncommon in people with non-European descent. 1 in 25 people in Europe descent have at least one abnormal copy of the gene for alpha 1, and about 1 in about 3,500 people in the U.S., both of their genes for AAT are abnormal, putting them at risk for severe organ damage. About 75% of people with two malfunctioning genes will eventually develop lung function issues. How does alpha 1 deficiency affect lungs and liver? ATT is a protein that forms in your liver and moves through your bloodstream to your lungs. It is the off switch for an enzyme called neurophilia elastase. Neurophilia elastase is a important fighting infection in your lungs, but it can also destroy your healthy lung tissue. After elastase has had time to fight an infection, ATT shuts it off or inhibits it so it won't damage your lungs. If the gene mutation causes low levels of AAT, or creates incorrect formed AAT, you won't have enough in your lungs to stop elastase, which will start breaking down the protein elastin in your lungs. Elastin gives strength to the small air sacs of your lungs, the alveoli, and allows them to stretch and contract like a rubber band. Without it, your alveoli lose their shape and become floppy. This makes it so you can't breathe or get oxygen properly. This is a condition called emphysema. Gene mutations that change the shape of AAT keep it from moving out of your liver. It builds up there and can cause scarring. Since it can't get out of your liver, it's not able to move to your bloodstream and your lungs. Is alpha 1 a terminal illness? Alpha 1 isn't necessarily a terminal illness. Many people with alpha 1, especially if they don't smoke, can live a normal lifespan. Symptoms and causes. The alpha 1A trypsin deficiency causes lung disease, can cause alpha 1 have similar symptoms to COPD. Lung symptoms usually start between the ages of 30 and 50 and include shortness of breath, whistling sounds when you breathe, wheezing, cough, chronic cough, often with mucus, extreme tiredness, and frequent chest colds. About 10% of infants or about 15% of adults with alpha 1 develop liver disease. Signs and symptoms of liver disease may include yellow of the skin and eyes, which is jaundice, itchy skin, swelling of your legs or abdomen, and throwing up blood. Rarely, your first symptoms of alpha 1 are painful, red bumps on your skin. These can move around your body and may break open, leaking fluid or pus. What causes A1 tryptophan deficiency? Everyone has two sets of genes. The instructions on how your body functions, one from each parent. Just like differences in these instructions can determine what color eyes or hair you have, they can also change how your body functions differently. Mutations in specific genes causes A1 antitrypsin deficiency. The seraphin gene makes a protein called A1 antitrypsin, AAT, that protects your lungs from damage caused by other proteins in your body. There are many seraphin mutations that can change your body and makes AAT. Some tell your body to make less AAT, some tell your body not to make any at all, and some cause ATT to form incorrectly so it can't get to your lungs. Any of these can cause you to have too little AAT in your lungs to protect them. If both copies of your seraphin 1 gene have mutations, you have alpha 1 antitrypsin deficiency. Depending on the types of abnormal genes, you have 75% chance of developing lung symptoms. If you have a mutation in just one of your copies of the gene, you're a carrier. Your body can usually make enough functioning AAT to protect your lungs. You're still at increased risk for lung damage and could eventually develop symptoms, especially if you smoke. A1 inheritance. Carriers of abnormal A1 genes can pass the mutation on to their children. If both parents are carriers, their children have a 25% chance of having two abnormal genes and a 50% chance of being carriers. One abnormal copy and one normal copy. Since both genes contribute to how you make AAT rather than one being dominant, alpha 1 tryptophan deficiency is said to have a codominant inheritance. How is A1 alpha tryptophan deficiency diagnosed? With blood tests, a provider takes a sample of your blood to measure your levels of AAT and understand how well your liver is working. If you have low levels of AAT, they do genetic testing to identify gene differences associated with alpha 1. Imagings, X-rays, and CAT scans can show signs of A1 in your lungs and rule out other conditions. These tests can show the location of any damage and how severe it is. Pulmonary function tests, liver ultrasound and elastograph, and liver biopsy. How is it treated? With medications, there's augmentation therapy, medications, oxygen therapy, pulmonary rehabilitation, smoking cessation therapy, lung transplant, and liver transplant. You should avoid alcohol if you have certain types of A1 or a carrier. Alcohol can increase your chances of liver damage. You should also avoid medications that can cause liver damage. A provider can help you identify which medications to avoid. I will say that me myself, I do not have the A1 tryptophan virus, deficiency. I got tested for it myself. I do not have it. Um, Good morning, Tainted Doctor. Good morning, the real Babs. Um, Good morning. Good morning. We were talking about the A1 tryptophan, explaining it to everyone. So basically, the A1 tryptophan is a deficiency that you can carry in your genes, and some people don't even know they have it, unless you get a test for it. Like if you have any kind of problems with your liver whatsoever, you can get a test, a blood test that will tell you if you're a carrier. It'll tell you if you you test positive for A1 tryptophan. I tested negative for A1 tryptophan. My sister, however, we got the same father, different mothers, tested positive for A1 tryptophan. So she had a genetic component with it where I did not. I've already had my test for the A1 tryptophan. Now, my M2 mitochondrial did come back positive, which is an ANA, which is for autoimmune disorder. I had all the precursors for something they call PBC, but I do not have PBC. Once that they did my liver biopsy, The ducts and the bile ducts in my liver look great. So, um, you know, do I always have to remain tested for that? Yeah. But yeah, so I did all those testings and did all that stuff, and now we're going through that. Um, and I am going to, in a minute, probably try to look up how to get this thing with his, you know, his my chart fixed because I really want to see those test results, so that you know I could stay on top of things because I like to do that. I don't know about anybody else, but I like to stay on top of everything. How's y'all's day been? How's y'all's morning going? Y'all drinking y'all's coffee this morning, or do you drink tea in the morning, or do you just, drink your whatever cold drink that you like to like, whether it be Dr Pepper, Pepsi, Coke. In the South, everything's a Coke. I don't care if it's Pepsi, Coca Cola, Dr Pepper, Sprite. We call everything a Coke down here. So when we say that, just know that we're talking about just, a cola pretty much, and it can be any version. Or do you drink water? Are you a water drinker? Some people like those flavored waters, and some people love those what are they called, the ones sparkling waters. Yeah. So my question is, do you like just plain water? Do you like to put flavors in it? Do you like to use those packets? Some people like those packets and some people don't. Well, I ain't gonna judge you, Stiffy. I ain't gonna judge you because it's 5 o'clock somewhere right now. I'm not gonna judge you. It may be one of them mornings. It may be one of them mornings. You know what I'm saying? I will say to be very careful doing that, just because I have a liver condition and I don't want to see anybody else have to do that. You know what I'm saying? But it could just be one of them mornings, and I ain't judging. I ain't judging. I drink my Dr Pepper now. Watcher. I love my Dr Pepper. We all know that. But I drink my little bit of coffee in the morning, which technically for me, coffee don't really wake me up. I just like coffee because of my ADHD. Coffee really don't do much for me. I just like drinking it. There's a difference. I do like a little, it does give me a little bit of a caffeine push, but not like you would think for somebody, I guess, that doesn't have ADHD. You know what I mean? Hey, I will tell you this: be careful with that. Be careful. Be careful with that. With them drugs. Drugs are bad. Okay. Still not gonna judge you, but drugs are bad. Okay. Makes me think of the dude from South Park. Drugs are bad. Okay. That dude is funny. What's going on now? What's going on now, K fam? What's going on? What they say about the car? What's going on with your health? Keep me updated now. You got to keep me updated. Let me know how you doing. I worry about y'all when I don't see y'all. Like when I don't see some of y'all popping in chats, y'all may not know it, but I do. I worry if you're okay. I'm wondering if you're doing well and all these things because I'm the type of person that actually cares and wants to know you okay. I'm gonna tell you this: whiplash ain't no joke, K fam. A lot of people be saying whiplash is like, oh, it's just so common and all this other stuff. No, whiplash can leave you with headaches for weeks, and actually, whiplash, um, you should actually wear, um, and with whiplash, you should actually wear a neck brace for a little while. Whiplash actually ain't no joke. Depending on how hard you hit your neck, you could have possible for the rest of your life problems with your neck. Actually, the whiplash that I got diagnosed with my very first time, once I got more like MRIs and stuff, I found out I actually had really bad neck issues. Like I have three of my discs are messed up. I have bursitis in my neck and all this other stuff. So if they're saying you got whiplash, please in the future make sure you get MRIs done on your neck. And also be very like you can have headaches for weeks afterward. And I'm not talking about regular headaches. I'm talking about migraine, debilitating migraines for weeks on end after whiplash. Whiplash is not like people laugh at it and think it's funny, but whiplash is really not funny and it's not cool. It is not something you really want to deal with too much. Um, you know, um, I'm glad that it's nothing too major, but if you feel at any time in the next three, yeah, migraines are no joke. I pray for anybody that gets them. They suck. They're terrible, and it really can debilitate you to the point that you're stuck in a bed for 3 to 4 days in a dark room, sick at your stomach, can't eat, all this other stuff. If you feel KFAM at any time that something's not right with your body in the next couple of days with this happening, please do not take the chances of staying home. Go to the doctor immediately. And with the minor concussion, be careful. Have someone like keep an eye on you right now. And with bruised ribs, here's the thing: a lot of people don't know they could possibly have a cracked rib and don't know it. And don't in the next few weeks, just to be safe, if you take any hits, any falls, anything, be very careful because how many people have passed away from a cracked rib that actually punctured their lung or heart? So be very, very careful. And bruised ribs hurt like a bitch. A lot of people will tell you when they have bruised ribs, it's hard for them to breathe. Like when they breathe, it hurts. Like it actually hurts to breathe. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a it's be very careful if you because here's the thing about getting a major concussion or even a minor concussion with whiplash and all these things. It's basically like your head and a lot of people don't know this about your brain pops the front of your forehead, like your brain moves and pops. And what a concussion technically is, it's a bruise, right? Which can cause blood clots. So be very careful if you start getting really bad major headaches. The Real Babs Gag of City, K-Fam actually chases tornadoes and got rolled yesterday by a tornado and in their vehicle and wrecked their vehicle. So it's very precarious and all that stuff, and they could have got seriously injured. And thank God they're still here to tell the tale. But that stuff right there can, and for me it wasn't a fall. I absolutely had a bus accident when I was 15 years old. We were stopped, innocent children, and someone hit the back of the bus going 85 in a 45. So for me, mine came from a bus accident when I was a kid. But yeah, so basically with the whiplash stuff, keep very close eye. If you start getting major headaches, or you start missing time, or let's say you start feeling like a real bad pressure in your head, do not take any moment to stop. Go directly to the ER right then there. If you start running a fever, hey Miss Christine. Also, I really love your picture because I love German Shepherds. I think they're so adorable. And that is a German Shepherd, right? I'm not wrong, because Belgianese, they kind of look like shepherds a little bit, but I'm pretty sure that's a beautiful shepherd. Yep. And they also have American Shepherds too. So I just want to make sure that it is an actual German Shepherd and I'm not tripping. But yeah, so if you start feeling any weird feelings, any kind at all, start running a fever, a temperature, don't play no games and get your ass to that doctor immediately. Yeah, see, I thought so. I thought that was a long-haired shepherd. I love German Shepherds. My girl, she was 14 when she passed away, and I had another one when I was a young child. He would have lived a lot longer. He was only 6 years old when he passed. Someone opened, I had him in a fenced in yard, and someone opened the gate and let him out. And he ran across the road, and somebody hit him. I still to this day do not talk to that person. I do not like that person. They should have never opened the gate to my fence whatsoever. And they let my dog out, and I still don't forgive them for it. I'm sorry. I still have trouble forgiving for that one. But that was my baby. But yeah, so I've always loved shepherds. A neighbor of mine had a shepherd that used to stay at my house more than it did his. And I loved her too. She was a sweetheart. She was such a sweetheart. Hey, Racing Stars. Good morning, love. Be careful, babe. Love you. Hey, Miss Catherine. Good morning. Good morning. Miss Catherine, I saw you up there. I saw you up there. I don't remember what I was said, but I saw you up there on that links. You and Sheffy was going at it, child, because you read something in the chat. I saw it. I didn't see it all. I saw part of it. I was busy yesterday. I love German Shepherds. I don't know what it's. They've always got a special place in my heart. My Rosie girl was she was 14 years old, almost 15, and she lived a very long, happy, healthy life. And I'm gonna tell you something. She didn't even show that she had. She acted like a puppy all the way up to the very last. Yeah, I said child. I didn't say child. You know what I'm saying? I got you. I got you. You know how I be, depends on, here's the thing. You're going to notice this about me when I'm like half dead, half asleep. I talk like real blah, blah, blah. But then when I get animated, oh Lord. When I get real excited and animated, oh Lord, y'all don't even want to know. Child. Yeah, I don't say you know, child. I don't know. No, it just sounds weird to me. I don't know why it does, but it does. Anyway, I loved my shepherd with all my heart, and so I love all animals. I think all animals deserve, the best in the world because they're just innocent little cherubs who don't bother nobody. They good to people. Hey, Mr. MRH, how you doing this morning? I hope you having a good morning. I hope that you're drinking your coffee and everything's going good for you this morning. You just waking up, chilling, no BS, no bull crap. You know what I'm saying? We just over here talking and bull crapping on this Wellness Wednesday right now. Um, because I want to know what's going on with my son's situation, I did send a message to the my chart people to try to fix what's going on because I can't see his test results right now, and I know that some of them should have already been back, and so like I want to know what they say. And if I get a phone call, if y'all hear my phone ring and I mute up all of a sudden, that's what it would be, is the doctor calling me, letting me know what the results say. But I want to be able to see them myself, you know what I'm saying, and look at it and chart them. And also on the new things with the My Chart, they also have like where they take the old test results and new ones and compare them, so you can like keep an eye on it to see how it's fluctuating or going up, going down, all those other things. You've been up since 6 a.m. I usually, Mr. March, I got up at 6 too. At 6 my time, I'm on Central Time. I got up at like, I always get up. I don't know why my body wakes me up at 6 o'clock in the morning. Hold on just a minute, y'all. But anyway, so mom, but anyway, so that's the thing. Um, I did in a way, Stiffy. But it's like this. Okay, I ain't never. Well, no, I ain't never lived in PA. Now I got a cousin who lived in PA for 10 years. Um, you know what I'm saying? But no, basically, I've lived half my life in the country and half my life in the ghetto. So, in the hood, because not technically every hood that I lived in was the ghetto and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So, I have like a mixed accent. And so sometimes my accent be all it be all over the place, child. I just I don't know what to tell you. It just does that. And when I first wake up in the morning, for some reason, I sound so much more proper than I do as the day goes on. I guess because I'm tired when I first wake up, and I'm still waking up. And this is how I sound when I first wake up. And then after I get animated and I get wake, um, yeah, my other side comes out more. You have a good day, Mr. MRH, and have a good day at work. You know, don't let nobody bother you. That's true. My southern always is there. It ain't never gonna go away. Now I will say that I was taught when I was little, um, that proper pronunciation. We would get cussed, moved the fuck out. Excuse my French. By our teachers if we didn't. Thank you so much, Mr. MRH. Have a good day at work and be safe out there in this evil world, okay? Be safe out there. Yeah, see, Miss Christine, I got family in New York. And so the thing I love about New York is depending on what part of New York you're from, depends on how your accent is. And if you have a mixed accent. Because I met this one dude who had like a Queens mixed with a Brooklyn mixed with a Harlem accent. So he had like this mixed bag of accent because I was trying to figure out what borough he was from in New York, right? Because he had like all three, and I kept like hearing them, right? And I'm like, what? I was like, when I was talking to him, I was like, wait a minute, which borough are you from? Because you sound like you from like 3 or 4 of them. He was like, I was like, I'm trying to place it, what borough you're from. And he was like, yeah, I kind of grew up in Queens, moved to Harlem, and went to, like he moved all over. So therefore he had a mixture. You know what I'm saying? He had a mixture of an accent. Now my um, fiance and his family, my husband's family, they're from Long Island, so they speak different than people in the boroughs. And then the people from upstate speak different. They almost have like a Canadianish type um, accent, a little bit of country up in upstate New York. They sound different than y'all in downstate in the boroughs. You know what I'm saying? And then, Brooklyn sounds a little more different than Queens. Queens sounds a little bit more different than Harlem, and so on and so forth. And then the people from the city, you know what I'm saying? New York City, they sound different, And I've also met so many people from New York who have like a mixed accent. And also people in Queens. Just take Queens by itself. You have different accents within Queens. You know what I'm saying? Because you have people from Jamaica, Queens. You have, you know what I'm saying? So, like, within Queens itself, you know what I'm saying? There's different forms of the accent within Queens. Just Queens. We ain't even talking about the whole state. You know what I'm saying? And I know you know exactly what I'm talking about. And then when you go over there to Harlem, you have, like, a few different dialects. And when you go over to, like, try and let's see, depending on what side of Queens you from, it can be more more this way or lean more that way, with your accents. But you can pretty much tell what part of Queens somebody's from sometimes just by how heavy the accent is, which I think is really cool. Yeah, K fam, I would suggest you take in at least a week or two or longer to actually you know, take care of yourself. You know what I mean? And take some time off to heal, because you don't need another bump like that right away. Just saying. But yeah, Miss Christine, you know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to, like, you can tell what side of Queens somebody's from just by the way they talk. You know what I'm saying? Just by the way they talk. Same thing with different, different areas of New York. Um, I love going to New York though, because I love the good food, the people. Yeah, do they look at me strange because I'm extremely nice and I'll talk to them? And y'all don't do that up there like that. Y'all be looking at folks, why are you being so nice to me? Are you gonna rob me or some shit? Because they always, but then when they hear my accent that I'm from the South, they give me a pass. They give me a pass for being so nice up there. You get what I'm saying? Because, like, that's not something, like, people don't just randomly walk up to people and talk to them on the street like we do down south, right? Like when we go into the gas station, we just be talking to each other, right? We be telling each other everything, just be big old conversation. So some people give you a dirty look. However, I will say the Italians in New York, or the depending, there's different than it's not just the Italians. It's a lot of the people who have, like, big family units, like the Jamaicans and a bunch of different other ones. They won't look at you strange because they're used to, like, people being boisterous and loud and shit like that. So they're kind of used to, like, us Southerners. And I there's a lot of different ethnicity. Can I speak today? Damn it. Um, Sorry, that's that Mississippi coming out in me, y'all. But there's a lot of different ethnic backgrounds, right, within New York, a bunch of different kinds, and a lot of them who are the families are very family oriented and stuff like that. They're used to people being loud and boisterous and shit like that, so they don't really look at you too strange, just a little bit, just because that's not a New York thing, right? Like, y'all don't like, if you come down here for the first time, you may look at us strange of how friendly we are, how we say yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir, how we'll sit there and talk to you for 15 minutes. And We don't know you from Adam's house cat, right? But y'all be looking at us like, you know, I've gotten some strange looks while in New York because I am so friendly, so nice, and all that stuff. But most of them understand and they give me a pass because I'm from the South. And when they hear my Southern accent, they go, "Oh, I get it." You know what I'm saying? I get it. I had to change the Southern "come on" to the PA. Come on. I don't know how to say that, Stiffy. That's what's up, though. Mm-hmm. Beginning at getting it all mixed up. But y'all, you know what I'm talking about, Miss Christine. When people in New York, you know how y'all don't y'all be looking at somebody funny as shit if we like, hey, how you doing, Miss Christine? Like, how's like if I saw you, let's say we met at a gas station, and I just go, yes, ma'am, how you doing today? Um, uh, oh man, that Coca Cola right there is real good. I've had a couple of those. That I love the frozen ones and stuff like that. And I'm gonna go get me some good chicken parm later. You gonna look at me like I'm fucking crazy, but then you hear my southern accent and you're like, I get it. She not from here. She don't know. I've gotten some really funny looks before in New York, but most of them do forgive me because they know I'm southern. So that they just they give me that I understand. We had some good drone footage, K fam, ourselves. If you want to look on WTVA News Weather, maybe catch on .com, they actually have the live streams from the other day that show some of the pictures and stuff and some of the video footage. If you want to look at that, it's Matt Lompon is one of the best weathermen we have ever had in our area, and I really enjoy him and his family. I'm so glad that he became my weatherman. In fact, they were trying. Hold on, just a minute. Sorry about that. My mom walked in. Y'all know I always mute up when people walk in because I don't put them on the internet like that. You know what I mean? I may choose to do this, but they don't choose to participate. You know what I'm saying? I do want to see the footage. Are you going to put it on your channel, KFam, the footage of all the footage that y'all got or whatnot? Or is your friend putting it on their account? Like, I want to watch it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, down South Mississippi got it the worst. New Albany got rolled a little bit. We were supposed to get rolled, but we had a warning, but it ended up turning into just a severe thunderstorm. It weakened over us, and then by the time it got to Alabama and Tennessee and Kentucky, it strengthened again, is what I heard. Now, if you were in New Albany, KFAM, you wasn't too far from me. You was about a good, about to say maybe an hour away, 45 minutes. New Albany's not that far, technically, when it comes to technicalities. It's going to be on your channel. You know I'm going to be wanting to watch it. You know I'm going to be wanting to watch it because y'all know I like storm chasing. Shoot, if I was in better health and condition, I'd be storm chasing too. I'm going to share Baby Shark's channel. So if y'all want to watch some of the storm footage, because I know other people out there like it too, you know, they might want to watch your channel and see the storm footage, because some of us like that stuff. Like some of us like to watch serial killer documentaries, you know, just because we're curious about things like that. Curiosity, you know, is a thing. And for those who, like, I will say this, up in New York, they don't have to worry about tornadoes as much. But I have heard a story in New York. Now, Miss Christine, I don't know if you've heard of this. Did you hear about that one lady whose house has gotten hit every damn time a tornado come in, who lived on a corner? She lived in a house, and that house and her house got hit like 2 or 3 times. Nobody else did, just her. I'm like, there's something going on there. That lady's cursed or something. One of my friends in New York was telling me that we was at a cigar bar up there, you know, cigar lounge, and they told me that there was this, that there was this lady who her house kept getting hit, and she was the only one. Like, it didn't bother nobody else's house, just hers. Yeah, just hers. I'm telling you, that lady cursed. Because in New York, mostly what they have to deal with is hurricanes. If they do get a tornado, they don't really do. They're like F1s maybe, and maybe F2s, and they'll touch down, barely do anything, and go away. Because the weather's not conducive for it, if that makes sense. But they get more like hurricane weather. They get more earthquake type thing. That I will say this: I don't like being on top of them damn bridges when the freaking thunderstorms come through because of that lightning. That shit is scary. You try being on top of a big ass metal bridge and lightning popping out, and you high up in the air too. It ain't like you like right there, you know, by land. No, you high up in the air, right? If you're on the top level, because they have levels to these things. If you're on the lower level, you may not be able to see it as much. That's why some people like to do the lower level. But if you're on the top level and your ass sitting right there way up in the sky with fucking lightning popping off right beside your ass, that shit is scary as fuck. I did not like it. I went through that one time. I don't know how y'all New Yorkers deal with that shit when y'all on them bridges and that fucking lightning popping your ass right, left. You see that shit. You right above the water. You like, this shit's conducive. We on a big ass metal bridge. This is some bullshit. I don't like lightning. Okay. I had a cousin that passed away of electrocution. He was working and he saved another man's life by pulling him away from it, and it got him, but it was from they were working on power lines and he passed away. I don't like lightning, okay? And that shit is scary. From anybody that's in New York, have you ever been on one of them big ass bridges when the lightning popping? That shit's scary as fuck, bro. It is. Woo. Really? The dummy stopped right there on the Ohio Bridge in front of you. I'd have been yelling too. Don't be stopping on no bridge. Don't make, let me get on through. I don't play that. And some of those bridges in New York be higher than hell, man. If you got damn problems with, I'm just saying, if you're afraid of heights, that might be an issue for you in New York if you go across some of them bridges. I would suggest, if you can take the lower level, take the lower level if you're afraid of heights. It'll help a little bit. But if you're claustrophobic and you got afraid of heights, you just shit out of luck. I'm saying, because if you take the lower level, the claustrophobia gonna get you. If you take the higher level, the damn afraid of heights gonna get you. So either way, you just screwed. I'm just saying, because if you plan on going to certain places, you're gonna have to pass bridges. But no, yeah, I don't like playing with them bridges in New York. I'm just telling you. And the Maryland Bridge, if you ever been across the Maryland Bridge, that mofo's scary too. I think that's the one that fell, man. That one's scary as shit. I went across it once. I ain't like it. See, we don't have to deal with bridges like that too much. Our bridges are like not like that, okay? Our bridges are like not that high up in the air, obviously. They're not that big. I mean, we got some big bridges. We got the one that goes across the river, right? And goes across the Tennessee Tombigbee River. And those are fairly long, high up in the air bridges, but not nowhere near like in New York. Nowhere near. Nowhere near. Y'all's bridges be scary as shit sometimes. I swear to God. I'm like, I can't play with this. I'd have been mad as hell too, though, if somebody stopped in front of a bridge knowing there's bad weather coming through. And nope. Mm-mm. I got pictures and videos from the times that I've been in New York of the bridges, and the one in Maryland I have somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I'll have to go back and look. And yeah, woo. I'll tell you I think the Brit. I can't believe a dumbass decided to just stop. Like, if you're trying to outrun a tornado, you don't just stop. You get your ass on somewhere and not on top of a bridge. That's stupid. You also, there's a common misconception. I want to tell y'all that this now. Some people have the common misconception that you stop underneath a bridge overpass and get up under it. That is a huge common misconception because technically that turns into a wind tunnel and you can get sucked out from under there. Okay? A lot of people have that misconception. You stop under there, you get up under the bridge, and you try to climb up as much as you can. That can actually be, yes, it'll keep you from getting hit per se from debris sometimes, but those areas can actually become a wind tunnel, what they call a wind tunnel. And sometimes it can be more dangerous. Um, Best bet is if you're on the road and a tornado is coming, first off, turn around, try to run. That's one way, I guess, suppose. Get the fuck away from there. But if you can find a structure, a structure that is, has, if you go by, let's say, a bank, right, and you're not far from a bank, go inside that bank and get inside the vault. If you go to a gas station, get inside the coolers, or an interior, like if they have a let's say a janitor's closet that's got no exterior walls, that'd be a good bet. But it's just being safe. Gas stations are not always the best place to stop for trying to get out of a tornado. And I'm going to explain to you why. Most of those buildings aren't made out of shit. They're metal buildings. Not to mention, you also have to worry about the pumps blowing up. So that's not always your best bet. Some people think it is. Sometimes it's not. Now, if you know there's a rest stop nearby that has the brick building for the bathrooms, some of those are actually okay, and some of those toilets, the pipes go down for thousands of feet into concrete, and you can hold on to those pipes and you will still be alive. Now you might get some damage, but you'll still be alive. You have to strap yourself, because when that wind goes to pulling you, I promise you, you think you it's harder than you think. Trying to think of areas along the highway that would be more acceptable. and more safe for people if they have never been in it. But I'm trying to think of buildings that would be more like along the interstates, along the highways. What they'll tell you to do technically, now I don't know if you know this, they'll tell you to pull off on the side of the road, get out of the car, do not stay in the car, and get into like a field and lay flat and cover your head. Technically, that's what they'll tell you if you have no other option. Don't get in the ditch. Also, they tell you, some people tell you to get in the ditch, not if it's raining. Nope, don't get in the ditch. Some people tell you to do that. Not a good idea. It is a good idea if the ditch is not too deep, but if it is too deep, you can actually drown. Now, if you're in a structure, in a home that's like a built home with a foundation, get into an interior room that has no windows, no exterior walls. That is your best bet. If your structure is not good enough, you know, yeah, you just cover your head in a field and kiss your butt goodbye. That's all you can do is you can pray. You can pray. That's what you do. You cover your head and you pray. Yeah, it says if you see it coming, it's best just to turn around and go the opposite way. Now, if the motherfucker look like it ain't moving, it's coming directly for you. It is. It is. It's coming right at you at that moment. It looks like it's not moving when it's coming directly at you. Just saying. The being in a car while a tornado's coming is actually one of the worst places you can be. It is the most dangerous. Besides living in an old school mobile home, because they're just tin cans. The old ones are. So anybody who lives down south, we all know this. We all also. Good morning, Miss Radita. We have storm shelters down here, right? Most people have them in their yards. You know what I'm saying? We know that you have split second sometimes to get to a storm shelter. You don't have time like people think unless you leave out early enough to get there. Now, we do have county-wide storm shelters, but they're in the city limits. Most of them are in the city limits. So you sometimes don't have that 10, 20 minutes to get to that shelter. So if you live out in the county, your best bet is to build your own storm shelter so that you can be safe. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you live in Tornado Alley. And I'm going to say this, the Tornado Alley itself is shifting. You can ask anybody who does storm chasing or anybody who lives in these areas, it's shifting. Yeah, you didn't have no time. Miss Raditha, that's the way it runs with these tornadoes. You don't have time like you think you do. So you want to have your action plan for tornadoes way before it ever happens. Of what's going to happen, who's going to do what, who's going to grab what. You want to have that action plan in place way before you ever get to that point. So if you know what's coming your way, you already have, well, I'm going to grab the dog. You're going to grab this. You're going to grab this. Please tell her, Miss Raditha, if you talk to her, that we miss her and love her. And whatnot, just send our love. Anybody who talks to Twin Mama, please tell her we send our love. We understand why she's taking a break from this bullshit. And, to worry about her real life always first, but that we care and that we love her. And I want her to know that people do care, that people have been asking about her. So she doesn't not know that because, we do. There are a lot of people who are not into any of the fighting or any of that stuff. And we actually care about everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, we just care. You know what I'm saying? But I do. I can't wait. To I can't wait to get back to New York to get some good pizza though. Oh, y'all ain't had bagels either until you've had New York bagels. Whew. You know what I'm saying? Y'all ain't had good bagels. I was just thinking about that a while ago when we was talking about New York. And they have some of the best like different versions of foods that you can find. It's awesome. Now I love my southern food, don't get me wrong. I love my soul food. You know what I'm saying? I'm a southerner through and through. I cook soul food all the time, right? But sometimes you want something different, you know? And we have chicken places like they have pizza places. Like up there, you can throw a dart and find a deli or a pizza place on every corner. You know what I'm saying? On every corner, you can find a pizza shop and an Italian eatery. You know what I'm saying? Down here, we have fried chicken spots that are like that. There's one on every corner. Every gas station sells fried chicken. You know what I'm saying? So fried chicken is everywhere down here, right? Um, you can find a chicken joint 2 seconds from the other one, right across the street. It's the same thing with their pizza parlors. You know what I'm saying? But I'll tell you something that they do got that we don't got down here. You can get 2 slices of pizza and a drink, like for like $2.99 at some places for lunch, or like $4 or $5. And when I say that you're going to get full, and those 2 slices of pizza is like big as shit, I'm not joking you. Like sometimes I think that that's cheaper. Like people always say how expensive New York is, right? But if you know of a good, you know, like pizza joint there, you can get a cheap, good lunch from there on pizza, and their pizza is delicious. It's not as like expensive like that. You know what I'm saying? Like some things are and some things ain't. I will say I don't like their tobacco prices. It's fucking crazy. I know many smokers who are in New York that go to the reservation to get their cigarettes because the one pack of cigarettes, I don't care what brand it is, it's all $15. $15 a pack. I'm like, that's some bullshit. Do you think you got to stop coming over this way? Child, Mississippi's been getting rolled. K-Fam, Mississippi has been getting rolled. Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, we've been getting rolled more recently than we ever have. Like, I've lived here for, my entire life. I'm fixing to be 38 years old. I'm not far from 40, right? And I think the last 5 years, we've had, ever since I'd say about 2011, we have had more tornadic activity than we've had in my entire life. When I was a kid, we'd have them occasionally. You know what I'm saying? I mean, down south would always have a problem, and you know what we call the Delta and whatnot. But up here, we'd have them every once in a while. It wouldn't be too terrible though. But over the last so many years, we have had the most terrible outbreaks, and I mean most deadly outbreaks that I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, we've always had them, but it was never like it is now. I will say we have had way more deadly outbreaks in the last 5, 6 years than we've ever had in my entire life. It's crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy. The weather is shifting into something crazy. You could probably statistically look that up. Yeah, it does that, especially when we have like a few days of nothing but heat and humidity, and then here comes the storms. If you walk outside in Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Arkansas, Louisiana, any Texas, anywhere in the South, and it is hot, in Kentucky, any place in these areas, and it's hot and muggy, and I mean muggy, and y'all know what I'm talking about when I say that, and it just feels like your skin is sticky, and them storms are coming, you better be scared. You better hope the rain comes in before the storm comes in so it cools it off a little bit. And you better hope it don't rain and then get hotter, because that's really bad. You can tell here just by standing outside how bad the storms are going to be. If it cools off before the storm comes in, you might be all right. But if it don't cool off and it gets hotter and hotter and hotter, and the humidity goes through the roof, you might want to be afraid. And I don't mean a little bit, I mean a lot. Because our weather just don't play, homie. It don't play. Hey, Mr. Austin. Yeah, the black cane man. I'm gonna welcome you. Them dang alligator caimans and whatnot are scary. If y'all ain't never seen a black caiman, look that shit up. That's a freaking alligator and a damn uh, uh, crocodile mix, man. It's some scary shit. I looked that up because of Mr. Austin. I went to look that up. And I was like, homie, I ain't playing with that. We got gators here, but I ain't. I don't play. I don't play with them crocodiles. Me and them crocodiles, we don't play together. No, no, ma'am, no, sir. My friend, I had a friend over in Australia that told me that I've been doing good, Mr. Austin. I mean, my son's having to deal with some health issues right now. Um, his liver enzymes came back a little elevated, so we're dealing with that right now. But other than that, we okay. We okay over here. Um, and whatnot. But I tell you, this and that here, um, the friend in Australia that I have, she told me that she used to have to change the way she went to work because the crocodiles were so smart over there that they would lay and wait. If they knew you took the same way to work every day and you walked around like a part where they hide, that they would literally set you up. Like, I mean, set you up and eat your ass. And I'm like, no, no, thank you. I'm good. Also, them fucking kangaroos are mean as shit. They pretty as hell. I love a kangaroo, but I ain't fucking with those bitches. When they can box a grown ass man and beat the shit out, I ain't fucking with no kangaroo. Them joeys over there are mean as hell. You ever watched, man? Man, them little motherfuckers is mean. They'll choke a motherfucker out too. Like, hell no. I ain't fucking with that. I'm good. And they got some of the scariest spiders and they got like some of the scariest animals over there. I'm like, shoot. Like my friend told me you have to watch when before you put your shoes on. Like you have to shake out your shoes because they got a spider that'll get in your shoe and it'll rot your whole toe off. I'm like, I mean, we got to deal with brown recluse and you know, the little black spiders, the little with the red thing on their body, the black widows and whatnot. But they got some shit over there. Hell to the no. And I ain't messing around over there in the Middle East where they got them damn camel spiders. Man, They got a the reason they call them camel spiders, some motherfuckers can eat a camel when they get a certain size. Screw that shit. I'm good. I'll take my little bit of water moccasins and my rattlesnakes and occasionally if you get in their area a gator any day of the week, then some of that shit. I'm good. I'm good. We only got two really bad poisonous spiders. Most of the other ones just make you sick at your stomach or some shit like that. Nothing too terrible. You know, but some of the shit they got make you want to, I'm good. I'm good. I'm not scared of spiders either, racing. But have you seen a camel spider? Did you hear about the stories of the soldiers being over there and them motherfuckers running across people's faces? I'm good on that. Mm-mm. Have a good day, K-Fam, baby, and make sure that you sleep well, and please take care of yourself, and if you feel weird whatsoever, go to the doctor. Please don't take no, chances with your health, okay? And just keep it, let me know you're okay, whatnot, That's all I ask. I don't ask much. I just want to know you okay. I was bit by a damn, I don't know what it was on my back, and I'm going to tell y'all something. It blew up like a damn baseball, and then bursted open, and they had to test me obviously to make sure it didn't get staph or any of that stuff. But I'm gonna tell you something. I had a hole in my back for a minute, and it cleared up. I don't even have a scar from it. You wouldn't even know it had happened if I didn't tell you. But there was this little jumping spider, and I killed the spider, and it bit me on the back, and I didn't know at the time when it happened that it had actually bit me, right? And I went to sit down and I put my back against the chair and said, ow, what the shit? Like my back was hurting real bad. And so I lifted up my shirt and somebody look at it, and I'd gotten bit by a spider, and sure enough, it swelled up to the size of a baseball. And I got medications and Z-Packs and all this stuff to make sure I didn't get no infection or nothing, and steroids. But bruh, I didn't know that could happen to you. I got lucky that I had no other problems from it. That once it busted open and it cleared out and all this other stuff, it was fine and it healed up properly. But yeah, you got to be careful with spider bites. You can get right, you can get internal damage, you can get like it looks like from the outside it could look like nothing, but on the inside it could be your you could get necrosis and shit. So you got to be careful with spider bites, bro. Spider bites ain't no joke. Like they truly ain't. Because sometimes, and also if you ever get a spider bite, I'm gonna tell y'all a secret. Take a pen, like an actual pen that won't wash off your skin, or a permanent marker, and mark like the swelling every day. There's a reason why you do that. Okay. Mark the redness and all that, because if it starts spreading, that'll show, and you really need to go to the doctor if that happens. So if you ever get bit by a spider and you start showing redness under your skin, mark the spider bite around the edges completely with a either a permanent marker or a more so a permanent marker, because a pen will wipe off. They'll tell you to do that so that you can keep an eye on how it spreads, right, and how it does, and whether it's getting better or it's getting worse, right? They'll tell you to do the that for you to be able to, see how it's healing and all that other stuff, because if it's getting worse, it can travel upward, and it can be very, deadly and stuff like that. But I just got lucky. I do believe what bit me was a brown recluse, Mr. Austin. I do believe that because my back, the way it swelled up and everything, and I had a hole in my back for a minute, it cleared up, and I don't have a scar from it. You wouldn't even know it happened. But because of the way it swelled and stuff, it was some kind of poisonous spider, obviously, because it swelled up like a baseball, like, and it was very painful. So I do believe it was kind of like a some kind of very poisonous spider. Because it swelled up pretty bad. That, or I had some kind of, that's why I kind of think it might have brown recluse or something. And I just got lucky that I got treatment right away, and that it didn't get any worse, right? So I just got lucky. That's the way I say. I got real lucky. Also, if you catch a tick on you, right? If you catch a tick on you and you get it off of you, make sure first off you also get the head out of the tick, because if you leave the head in, it can cause an infection. Mark those also, the same way you would a spider bite, because it can show you if it is spreading or becoming inflamed and infected, and that goes with pretty much any bite of any kind. I really couldn't tell you, Mr. Austin, because I couldn't see it. Right? It was on the top part of my back, so other people had to look at it for me. Um, and I did the same day that happened. I went directly to the ER right then and there. I didn't play with it. You know what I'm saying? Because I know those can be very dangerous, and so I went straight to the ER, and I got medication the same day that it happened. Um, I didn't wait, for it to do its thing and work out. No, I went straight to the yard that day and got put on a Z-Pack and got put on antibiotics and all that other stuff just to be on the safe side. And I think that's why I didn't have as many problems. is because I went the same exact day. It busted that night. I went back to the ER the very next day, and they did the test to make sure I didn't have, I didn't contract staph or sepsis or anything like that. So they did, a culture to make sure everything was straight, and I was good. So, but yeah, I don't know what the hell bit me. I know that when I squished it, it was a little tiny thing, because it ran down my arm and scared the shit out of me. And of course, I smacked it and squished it because I was scared, obviously. But I was outdoors when that happened, so I don't even know. I ended up going to a friend to a cookout and sat down, and that's how we found out about it. I have no idea what it looked like though, other than I know what it felt like, and somebody took a picture of it and showed it to me. And all I saw was the swelling and stuff. It looked like I had a baseball bat under my damn on my back. It swelled up bad. And then I did have like when it busted, there was a coloration that came out of it. It was crazy, and it swole up in the matter of like I'd say an hour after I killed that spider, maybe two. It swole up that bad that quick. It was maybe about an hour or so. Yeah, mine had some white pus and blood and different stuff in it too. And it was literally about an hour after I got bit that it swole up like that. Maybe about an hour or so, I would say. Um, I remember after I smushed the spider, it was about 1 hour or so. I went to sit back on a chair and I felt the pain in my back. And I was like, what the heck? And so I lifted up my shirt and said, can you come look at my back? And they look and go, oh my God, you got this big ass damn thing that just popped up out of nowhere. I was like, I need to go to the hospital. I ain't playing with this shit. And it literally within 1 hour swelled up to that degree. So I know it was very poisonous, whatever bit me on and I know it was a spider because I killed the spider, right? And yeah, but I did get my treatment real fast and I didn't have any like problems from it. Because I think because I got the treatment so quickly. You know what I'm saying? I think if I had waited, I would have had a different outcome. I believe if I had waited, I probably would have had problems with. I believe it was a brown recluse, and I believe it would have been really bad if I had waited, because it was within 1 hour of the bite, maybe an hour and a half. Wasn't very long after I got bit that it did that, and it swole up bad, like real bad, real fast. And so I believe if I had waited, it would have gotten way worse. Um, but I think because I went so quickly and got seen about it and got the medications for it, I believe that's the reason why I didn't have any, like rot or anything like that. And I think it was because I got seen really quickly afterward. I'm not exactly sure what kind of spider it was because, like I said, I smashed the damn thing so quick because scared the bejesus out of me. You know what I'm saying? Scared the bejesus out of me. But I do believe because of my fast thinking that's why I was okay. You know what I'm saying? And because of going to the hospital so quickly. You imagine that you got bit by a spider and then all of a sudden you like get this swell spot on the back of your back that hurts real bad. That was like the size of your fist. You would freak out too. I freaked out, ran to the hospital. Yeah, Mr. Austin, sometimes I'll say they didn't really do much for me at the hospital, Mr. Austin. And when they went to go do the thing on my back to take the culture, this lady scraped my back with a needle. Not, it hurt. She didn't give me no local anesthetic or nothing. It was bullshit. She just sitting there scraping away. I'm like, that shit hurts. I'm steadily telling her it hurts. Over here, you know what I'm saying? She just like, it'll be over with in a minute. Like, bitch, put some local anesthetic or something. Like shit. But yeah, if you ever get any kind of bite and when you first get it, mark the bite. And if you see it start to spread or get bigger or have a, like mine where it swole up real bad, don't play around with it. Go to the doctor, because if you get treatment fast enough, it'll stop the rot, it'll stop the spread, it'll stop the issue. A lot of people don't do that, and they end up getting infections, and then it can eat away at your skin, it can eat away, it can cause necrosis, all this other shit. So if you get it and it starts being inflamed and infected, please go to the doctor right away. Early treatment does help. Early treatment does help. You know what I'm saying? Early treatment does help. So don't play around with your health. Spider bites ain't nothing to play with. Tick bites ain't nothing to play with. There is medications that they can give you, that could help you, even like with, if you get bit by a wild animal, don't play, because what if that wild animal did have rabies, right? You can go ahead and get those shots, and those shots could save your life. Even if you get bit by a human being, you need a tetanus shot. A lot of people don't know that. Let's say you get in a bar fight with somebody and somebody bites you. Believe it or not, you need a tetanus shot, because the bacteria from their gums and stuff can cause you to have lockjaw. A lot of people don't know that. You need a tetanus shot. If you get bit by a wild animal, you don't know if they have rabies or not. And getting the shots may suck donkey. It may suck. It may suck. It's going to be awful. But it beats the alternative. Once you start showing signs of rabies, it's too late. And sometimes they can only do end of life care. You've never heard of lockjaw before? Lockjaw's a thing, child. That's the same thing if you step on a rusty nail, or you get a rusty, like an old hook put in your body. You're supposed to have a tetanus shot every 5 to 10 years or something like that. So if you're not up to date on your tetanus shot, you need to make sure that you get a tetanus shot if you have any of those problems. What happens with lockjaw, you're only able to open your mouth about 35 millimeters or less than 3. It affects the whole jaw, locking the jaw in place. That's why it's called lockjaw. It can tighten your muscles to where you can't open your jaw. It's called lockjaw. It's a thing that can happen, and that's why you need tetanus shots. Because tetanus is also what lockjaw is known for. And let me go ahead and read y'all the tetanus. Tetanus is a serious disease of the nervous system caused by a toxin producing bacterium. The disease causes muscle contractions, particularly of your jaw and neck muscles. Tetanus is commonly known as lockjaw. Severe complications of tetanus can be life-threatening. There's no cure for tetanus. The treatment focuses on managing symptoms and complications until the effects of the tetanus toxin resolves. Because of the widespread use of the vaccines, cases of tetanus are rare in the United States and other parts of developed worlds. The disease remains a threat to people who aren't up to date on their vaccinations. It's more common in developing countries. The average time for infection to appear or signs of symptoms incubation period is 10 days. The incubation period can range from 3 to 21 days. The most common type of tetanus is called generalized tetanus. Signs and symptoms begin gradually, then progress, worsen over 2 weeks. They usually start at the jaw and progress downward to the body. Painful muscle spasms and stiff, immovable muscles in your jaw, tension muscles around your lips, sometimes producing a persistent grin, painful spasms and rigidity in your neck muscles, difficulty swallowing, rigid abdominal muscles. If it progresses Tetanus results in repeated painful seizure-like spasms that last for several minutes. Generalized spasms, usually the neck and back arch, and the legs become rigid. The arms are drawn up to the body, and the fists are clenched. Muscle rigidity in the neck and abdomen may cause breathing difficulties. These severe spasms may be triggered by a minor event that stimulates the senses: a loud sound, a physical touch, a draft of light. As the disease progresses, other signs and symptoms may include high blood pressure, low blood pressure, rapid heart rate, fever, extreme sweating. So if you ever step on a rusty nail, you ever get Otay, tell her you told her we loved her. Okay. Thank you, Miss Radita. But yeah. So if you ever step on a rusty nail, get a hook through your hand, somebody ever bites you, a few things, make sure you're up to date on your tetanus shot. It's called a tetanus shot. It'll keep you from getting lockjaw, so you don't have to worry about that. So that's a medical thing that I'd tell anybody. Like, you know how us country folk, Mr. Austin, be walking around and somebody might have a board with a rusty nail in it. You step on it. Well, when you should automatically go to the doctor after you pull the nail out, and you should get a tetanus shot if you ain't had one in a minute, because it'll keep you from getting that. It's preventative care. Just like if you get bit by a wild animal, right? Even if you don't suspect the animal has rabies, it's best to go ahead and get the rabies shots, even though it's going to suck, and it's not good. It's not like the rabies shots suck. Don't, like they're bad. They hurt. They're not great. It's still better to be safer than sorry, because if you do happen to contract it, if the symptoms start showing up, it's already too late. They can't give you the vaccine at that point. And the only thing they can do is place you in a coma and pray you make it out of it. At that point, it's just a prayer if you make it out of it. And then you're going to have to deal with long-term health effects from it. So, yeah. It can be, yes, lockjaw could also be you could get tetanus from a thumbtack or wall tack if they are rusted in any way, shape, or form. If you get stuck by anything that could be rusted or old or any of that stuff, you should, because of the metal. It's like a metal poisoning. You know what I'm saying? So you should always be precautious if you do those things. If you work in construction, if you step on something, get something stuck in your hands, feet, whatever, make sure you're up to date on your tetanus shot. And I think you only have to take that shot every so many years. Let me actually look that up. How long between tetanus shots? 10 years. You should have a tetanus shot every 10 years. It says tetanus shots last for 10 years. Generally, adults should get a booster every 10 years or sooner if they get a deep or dirty cut. It's been 5 years since their last shot. While receiving more than one booster within a year isn't harmful, it won't provide extra protection. So, if you work in those fields where you get cuts and bacterials and possibly you can get tetanus in any way, make sure you have a booster shot every 5 to 10 years. So if it's been more than 10 years and something like that, you should get a tetanus. It's some kind of bacterium, Mr. Austin, that has to deal with that causes tetanus. And so if you so much as get like a rusty anything stuck in you, anything pretty much, a person bites you with bacteria in their mouth, because our saliva has a lot of bacterium in it, right? And it can cause it. So any kind of stick, poke, anything, even if you don't know or do know, even if it's a brand new stick pin, you could possibly still need a tetanus shot, because you could have just introduced bacterium into your body that causes tetanus, right? So every 10 years, you're supposed to have a booster on your tetanus shot. I know I've had to have a few. One time I was walking through a yard and I didn't see this board and there was nails in it and it stuck through my foot. And so of course I had to go to the hospital, get the wound cleared out, and I had to get a tetanus shot. Yep. One time I accidentally stuck, I was fishing and a hook went through my hand, right? And even with the hook going through my hand, it wasn't no old rusty hook, but it was still a hook. I had to go get a tetanus shot because it had been 10 years since my previous tetanus shot. You know what I'm saying? So just make sure you stay up to date on your tetanus shot because lockjaw ain't nothing to play with, and I don't want that shit. I know nobody wants that shit. That shit is awful. Mm-mm. It says right here when to see a doctor. Okay. Tetanus is life threatening disease. If you have signs and symptoms of tetanus, seek emergency care. If you have a simple cleaned wound and you've had a tetanus shot within 10 years, you can care for the wound at home. But let's say you have a wound, and this doesn't just go in for stepping on rusty metal or things like that. It could just be coming from a wound because of a bacteria, right? So let's say you get an open cut, right? And you haven't had a tetanus shot in over 10 years, you still need to go to the doctor to get a tetanus shot. It says seek a medical care if the following cases: you've not had a tetanus shot within 10 years, you are unsure of whether you last had your tetanus shot, you have a puncture wound, a foreign object in your wound, an animal bite, or a deep cut. Your wound is contaminated with dirt, soil, feces, rust, or saliva, or you have any doubt about whether you have cleaned a wound sufficiently after such exposure. Contaminated wounds require a vaccination booster if it has been 5 or more years since your last tetanus shot. So, it could be if you get the dirt, the soil, if there's feces possibly in the soil, or in any way, shape, or form. There's rust. That's why I say rusty metals, or saliva. If someone bites you, you need a tetanus shot. That's what I'm saying. Like, so make sure you stay up to date on your tetanus shot, people. Okay. Uh huh. People forget about that. They forget about that being something that is, because here's the thing, because we have the treatments and the vaccinations and things like that, sometimes people forget that some things need a booster shot, and sometimes people forget that it can become a thing. Some people don't even know what lockjaw is. And because it's one of those diseases you don't hear about often. Because most people, when they get a wound, an open wound, will go to the hospital, and the hospital automatically asks you, when's the last time you had a tetanus shot? And you go, oh, I don't remember. They'll give you a new one. Most people don't even know they even got a tetanus shot because the doctors are already on top of it, done gave you the damn tetanus shot. You know what I'm saying? So most people don't even think about, that kind of situation and what it can cause, right? So most people don't. Most people really don't think about it. You know what I mean? But that's something that everybody should look out for and pay attention to. And I'm going to go make me some more coffee in a minute because I want one. Coffee, 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 coffee. Okay. Sorry. I'm going to turn into Beavis and Butthead in a minute, but it's more so Beavis. I need TP for me, bunghole. Bunghole? Bunghole. I don't know if y'all have ever seen the movie, but I love Beavis and Butthead Do America. Anyway, I love comedies and funny things. But yeah, there's a lot of diseases and a lot of different things that can be prevented and or before it gets too rough or too bad, with medications and different things. Like if you suspect you have Lyme disease, if you got bit by a tick, right? you should go to the doctor immediately and go, I suspect I may have been, exposed. They can do different blood work and possibly see, and they'll keep you up to date. And there's medications for different things. Let's say that you have a problem with, you might have been possibly bit by an animal, and that animal may or may not have rabies. There's different vaccines and stuff that can keep us, healthy. And sometimes early intervention with a lot of things is key. Just like children, when you know a child is born early or possibly may have a disorder, early intervention is key. Getting them in therapy early, physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, if they have a speech problem, early intervention is key and can really do things. Even for your health, early intervention is key, right? It is key to all things. So if you have, anything going on, don't be like, I understand that for some people, insurance is like, some people don't have the best insurance. I get that. But don't wait around and possibly become unalive because you thought I can take care of it myself. There are some things that can be prevented, and regardless of the situation, make sure that you take care of yourself physically, mentally, and always. Your little brother used to talk like that, and used to tell him to stop talking like that. Hey, Jug Florida promoter, how you doing? What's up? Okay, y'all know I'm starting to wake up when I start, when my crazy side comes out. That's my crazy side, y'all. It is what it is. Okay. And if y'all can see me right now, I'm doing the chicken neck, but y'all can't see me. So, and I'm too lazy to turn on my camera. See, here's the thing. I've had people say, "Oh, you don't turn on your camera." Bitch, who wants to turn on a camera at 7:30, 8:30 in the motherfucking morning when you just want to be chilling and not worried about looking cute on camera? Hell no, I'm being lazy. I admit it. That's why I'm behind my avatar. Cause it's 8:30 in the morning. I'm trying to drink my coffee. I ain't trying to be all cute and shit on camera. Now, if it was later in the day, that might be different. But even then, I'm like, I don't want to deal with all that. I like the fact we can do this nowadays. I show myself all the time on camera. You know what I'm saying? I have videos with myself in it. Why can't I be lazy? Everybody else can do it. Shit. I ain't trying to think about being on camera at 8 o'clock in the damn morning. I'm trying to be chill. I'm chilling right now. But on this Wellness Wednesday, I want y'all to think about ways to not only protect yourself for your physical health, but also your mental health, right? Some people don't realize with this internet and YouTube being what it is, people who have to deal with a lot of stuff on here, your mental health is very important. And I hope you take mental health breaks. If you have physical limitations, I hope that you are taking care of yourself and doing what is best for you at all times. This internet can wait. It can always be put on pause, right? But your health and your life means more than anything, because we get one life, unless you believe in reincarnation. But I'm saying we get, and time is so short. Life is shorter than people believe it is. I got told at 20 years old I wasn't going to be here no more. And I'm going to tell you something. Once you face life and death situations and you're told you're not going to be here, you understand how short life really can be. And you don't take days for granted anymore. You don't take life for granted. You don't take those who love you and you love back for granted. You realize that when you blink an eye, the person that you love the most could not be here anymore. So I'm going to tell you another thing that my family, we always had a saying. You don't go to bed angry with each other, because you don't want the last words you ever said to somebody you love to be evil, nasty, hateful words. You know what I'm saying? Have fun, Mr. Austin. You don't want the last words that you said to the person that you love to be evil, hateful words, because you're going to regret that shit. And you're going to regret it bad. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want that to happen to you or anybody you love for that matter. So remember that today and all days, life is too short, right? And don't forget to love each other up while you're here. Don't forget to hold the ones you hold dear close to you. Don't forget to tell them you love them. Sometimes we get so stuck in real life, right? That we forget to say the simple words of thank you, I appreciate you, and I love you. Sometimes we forget to say those things because it's just like, well, you think they should know you love them. No, you tell them every day how much you love them. So if that day does come, they don't have a question in their mind. They know you love them. You know what I'm saying? They don't have something like that going on. If you've ever heard the song by Reba McEntire, right? Called "The Greatest Man I Never Known." The greatest man I never knew lived just down the hall. And every day we said hello, but never spoke at all. He was in his paper, I was in my room. The greatest man. And then she talks about in that song too how they never said he never said he loved me. Guess he thought I knew. He thought. He never said he loved her, but he thought she always knew it. Sometimes people ain't mind readers. You got to tell them, right? He passed away and never said to his daughter that he loved her because he thought she knew by his actions. But you should say those words as well as show those words. Also, don't say I love you when if you're not meaning it. Mean it with everything in your being. You know what I'm saying? Show it in your actions. Actions always speak louder than words, right? But make sure they know through your actions and your words that you love them deeply. And if you have an argument with someone that you truly care about, there is ways to fix it, even if you believe it's unfixable. No, there are different ways you can go about it. And forgiveness is key, right? But sometimes we can't forget. And sometimes there's hard feelings. And I'm going to tell you something. Let's say you go around and you do something to someone you love, right? There's two things you can do. And it may not fix everything right away, but over time it can fix it. First off, stand in your ish. When I say that, that means admit your wrongs. Admit what you did wrong. Apologize for that mistake. Don't continue to make that mistake. Change and show through yourself that you're steadily changing and being better, right? And it is up to the next person to whether they accept your apology or not. You can't make them accept that. But maybe over time and showing that you're apologetic and that you've changed and you're not going to do that anymore, maybe they will accept your apology and y'all can move forward and build from there. It will never be like it was in the past if there's something been done that's really hurtful, but it can grow into something new, right? So a lot of people, what I see within families is that the person never wants to admit their wrongs, wants to apologize, and really mean it. They want you to forget their past. Oh, it's in my past. That's what I used to be. But they don't want to take responsibility for how they've hurt you and how they've wronged you. The first step is taking responsibility for your actions, right? Taking responsibility, admitting what you did and saying it out loud. Second step is apologizing and truly meaning it. Third is changing your behavior and showing changed behavior. It goes a long way with a lot of people. Some people just want you to admit what you did to them and apologize and then you can move forward from that. It's very simple in most cases, more simple than people assume. Will it take time if the trust is gone? Will it take time if there is hurt? Yes, it's going to take time to heal from it. But as time progresses, those things will be forgiven. But it takes time. It's not something that's going to happen overnight, and you shouldn't expect it to happen overnight, right? You shouldn't expect things to be hunky dory overnight. It's not going to be, right? It's going to take time to heal those wounds. Just like it took time to slash those wounds open, it's going to take time for those wounds to heal, right? Just like a physical wound. If you get cut on your arm and you have to have stitches, that takes time to heal, right? Mental scars also take time to heal. Don't be too hard on yourself if you are taking more time to heal, right? Even when it comes to, let's say you were in an abusive relationship in the past, realize that you do need therapy and help with that because you're still hurting from that, even if you don't want to admit it. And never be ashamed or made to feel ashamed if you ever decide to go to therapy. Don't let anybody make you feel ashamed about taking care of yourself, because that means you're taking the right steps to take care of you. And mental scars last a lot longer than physical scars. Physical scars heal and heal quickly. Mental scars take time. And just like if you were in an abusive relationship with a narcissist or something like that, it's going to take time to unlearn those behaviors also. It took time for that person to beat you down mentally to get you to the point that you were at. It's going to take time to unlearn those behaviors and to heal yourself. And so when I see people that jump from one relationship to the next relationship to the next, that's extremely unhealthy. The reason so is you haven't given yourself enough time to heal from one relationship to the next. So you're just compounding hurt, and you will take out your pain from the previous relationship on that new person. So please take time to also heal yourself mentally and take care of yourself, because you can't love anybody else correctly if you can't love yourself and if you're not mentally healed from previous wounds. Now, can you be in a relationship while healing mental wounds? Yes. Just realize that if you are trying to still heal from mental wounds, don't take it out on the person that it's not their fault, right? And if you do that, make sure you take responsibility for those actions and apologize and have a serious conversation. Just like if you're trying to build a friendship, a relationship with someone, or any of those things, when y'all sit down to talk, have real talks. Tell each other what you really feel. Open communication is key in all relationships in life, whether it be a friendship or whether it be a relationship. Being able to speak to each other and not argue and not hit below the belt and talk about things openly and freely and not be judgmental of each other is also a huge thing. Forgiveness is sometimes easier for others than it is for others, right? So I might be able to forgive something that somebody else can't forgive, that it's hard for them to forgive. And sometimes forgiveness is not for that person, it's for ourselves, right? Sometimes the forgiveness is not for them, it's for us, so that we can let go of that pain, let go of that hurt, and move forward. Just because you forgive someone also doesn't mean you have to be cool with them or be their friend. That doesn't mean that. You can forgive someone and politely walk away, right? Especially if they're choosing not to change who they are as a person. And you know they're going to continue to hurt you. No, you forgive them and you walk away and do what is best for you. Forgiveness is sometimes some of the hardest things that we have to deal with when someone has scarred us mentally and physically really badly. But the forgiveness is not always for them. Yes, sometimes can you forgive a person and move forward with that person? Yes. But there are some people that have cut you so deep and so bad that there is no moving forward with that person. It's cutting that person out of your life for good. But that forgiveness is not for them at that point. It's for you, so you can let go of that pain, you can let go of that hurt, and it won't hurt you anymore. We got to make sure that we take care of ourselves, our own mental health, and make sure that we are doing what is best for us in our life, right? Because nobody's going to take care of you like you take care of you. Nobody else knows what's going on in your mental or in your spaces or in your mind or in your heart better than you do, right? Nobody knows what's going on inside your body better than you do. So who's your best advocate? You are. You are your own best advocate and your child's best advocate, because you know your child better than anybody. You know when they're happy, when they're sad, when they're even lying to you and saying they're okay when they're not. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes we have to advocate for ourselves and do what is best for us. And if you do have to cut anybody out that you truly do love, it's going to be a hard decision, but sometimes it's what's best for you, right? It's what's best for you, your family, yourself, your peace. And it's not going to be easy, but sometimes it's what's best. And you always have to do what's best for you because, like I've said, life's too short. Life's too short. Do what is best for yourself, your mental health. If you do forgive a person and they don't change and they continue to hurt you, set boundaries if you do want to keep them in your life. Set strict boundaries that they cannot cross. Hey, Jay Dizzle. How you doing, beautiful? Girl, I heard you been in some mess. Lord have mercy. I ain't seen it all. You know, I ain't seen it all. I don't know if you know this, but my son's having to deal with some health issues right now. So I have been missing a lot in a lot of sectors and a lot of things recently. His liver enzymes came back elevated, so I've been having to deal with that. And so I've not been on the streets as much, and it's why you haven't seen me as often. I've been dealing with things with him. But I saw a little bit of it. Thank you, beautiful Jay Dizzle, for the prayers for him, because you know prayer works, and I believe in the power of God, and God is good, and He is great all the time. Um, but yeah, so his enzymes came back elevated. So yesterday we went for blood work with a specialist. Tomorrow we're going for another scan. Once we get all this information back, I am going to do an update on what they diagnose him with or what's going on. Right now, we're in all this testing phase. You know how that goes. You got to do all these blood works, all this test, do this test, do that test, and let's do all these tests over here. You know, but that's where we're at right now. Um, you know, and I can't wait to get the test back so I can see what's going on, because I hate being in this waiting game. It really sucks. Um, and Jay Dunn, you was right. I gotta admit, you was right. I shouldn't have messed with the crazy ass white folk. I'm just saying, I had to give you your flowers on that. Usually you do always lead me right when it comes to that shit. You'd be like, don't do it, and I do it anyway, you know. I just had to say that right quick. I know she's probably over there laughing right now at my stupid ass. But you was right, girl. You was right. I gotta get my drink poured up right quick and get me some more drink. Throw it up in here because my throat's getting dry and shit. And I'm gonna go get me some more coffee in a minute, and I'm gonna chill for the rest of the day. Jay Dizzle, you doing a live anytime tonight? You know, so I'll know to be over there. I'm sorry if I have been missing your lives more. I've been trying to catch your morning live replays on some of them, but it's just been so crazy. It's been super crazy. But I'm fixing to get off here in just a minute, and I'm gonna go check out those test results. And if they're not updating, I'm calling those people because I want to be able to see those test results. And I know some of them have already came in, so I don't know what's going on with his my chart. Because I want to see what's going on, and for some reason it's not showing up like it should. So I'm gonna have to call them people. I don't know. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna have to get the help desk number of Saint. I'm gonna have to call them people and be like, look here. I need these results and I need them now. Give me my damn results. But I might have to figure that out and everything else. And so I got to go deal with that, and I got to call the doctor's office, and y'all, I need prayers and I need naps. Naps are awesome. I need more naps in my life. But I want to thank you all for being here today. I want to thank y'all for all you do. Just chilling with me, man. Just being here, just being awesome. I want to thank you to all my bushwatchers. I want to thank you to all my replay gang that's going to catch this after the fact because most people are at work right now. I go to live when most of my peeps are at work or something, so they have to catch me on the replay. They may be asleep and not wake up to 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? So everything. I hope you have a good day at work too, Jay Dizzle. I know that you working hard for the money, so hard for you, honey. She works hard for the money, so you better treat her right. Okay, I had to do that right quick. But I love you all and thank you all for being here, and I will see y'all later. Prayers to everyone in chat. I want you to know that even if you're not saying what you're going through, that God's got you. That if you're not even talking about it, there's a strength and a power behind you that you don't even know about. If you think you having your hardest days now, if it's at the lowest of the low, just know it will get better. Because when you're at the lowest of the low and you're at the bottom of that barrel, you have only one way to go, and that's up. Don't ever give up on this life. Trust me. You're not just going to hurt yourself if you're in that mind space. I want you right now to think about those that love you when those mind spaces get to you, right? You're not hurting just yourself. You're hurting those around you if you do that. So remember to be strong and to keep fighting and never give up. This life is worth fighting for. And it may be bad right this second, but if you give up now, you're going to miss out on so much that's going to be amazing in your future. So please don't ever give up, ever. Keep fighting a good fight. And if in case you need someone to talk to, there's many helplines to help you. There's many different things in this universe that is, for you, that can help you. This right here. There's call 988 and it will connect you to a crisis counselor regardless of where you are in the United States of America. 988 if you're in America. You can look it up for other crisis numbers in your area if you're not in the United States of America, right? Please reach out to somebody and don't give up. Because if I had gave up when I was 13 years old, I wouldn't have had my son. I wouldn't have met the man of my dreams. I wouldn't be able to see anything come to fruition in my life if I had gave up then. And I would have hurt so many people that I loved and cared about. I would have hurt them so severely. And that's something I never want to do, is hurt those that I love, right? Please never give up your fight. And if things are going on with your health, it's going to be okay. You're going to get through it. This too shall pass. Remember that. This too shall pass. And that He is always with you. You are never alone. And there are others who are fighting just as hard as you in this lifetime. Right? They're fighting. And if they can do it, you can do it. Don't give up hope. Please never give up hope. Never give up life and love. Okay? I just want y'all on this day and all days to take care of yourself. Mentally, physically, everything. And much love, beautiful people. I will see y'all later. All right. Bye.
I'm from the T-U-P-E-L-O. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon' show. From the T-U-P-E-L-O. I'm reppin' my hood to the day that I go. From the T-U-P-E-L-O. I'm reppin' my hood, so love I'm gon' show. From the T-U-P-E-L-O. I'm reppin' my hood to the day that I go.
I'm from the west side, we don't need no introduction, this was the best ride. We all big boy rolling and holding, come take a test drive. Hilldale, Evergreen, Glenkirk, Outer Street, bending every corner on the west, and that's where I'll be. Sunroof back, Captain C banging down 1800, chunking up the deuce to my post slanging down on 1800. Show no love to the ladies that's training round on 1800, making time stand still, crystalline swinging down on 1800. Watching out for them knuckleheads that be staying round on 1800. Big rims and low pros be blanging round on 1800. Better completely change the way you're thinking about round 1800. Really hate to see you boys get left slanking around 1800. Out the street got some history, just let Captain C lay it out. If I don't finish it all on this one, let the second verse play it out. Remember the blue apartments from OG standing back there by 60 deep. Bull walking, Charles Blue, a big Anthony Hughes and Pee Wee.
I'm from the T-U-P-E-L-O. I'm reppin' my